What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. Thanks, everyone who's been joining the channel. We're at 77 members right now with the daily goal of 100. We're going to do a little bit of a membership drive. I'm going to explain later some of the cool stuff I'll be able to do. The TLDR is less ads for you, hopefully long-term. But yesterday was the Super Bowl, or if you're a fan of what we do in the shadows, it's a Superb Owl. And, you know, I think the Superb Owl is a much better way to spend your time. But I won't shame people for wanting to watch, you know, the sports ball event and whatever. You know, I still watch sports. But the Super Bowl is something like, for me, I just, you know, I didn't want to watch it. I watched a terrible movie and said, oh, God, I had such a good trailer. It was like about like a YouTuber found footage thing, and it just stunk. And I don't know, it had like a 90% audience and a 90% critic rating. How did that happen? Anyway, I watched a bad movie, but at least I wasn't indoctrinated by anything. That said, the halftime show featured, you know, there were a lot of ads, many of them, of course, very woke. And then the halftime show featured Rihanna. I nothing her music. It's not my type of music. I mean, it'd just be disingenuous to deny that she's extraordinarily successful. It would be, of course, extraordinarily disingenuous to deny that she's extraordinarily successful. She's like a billionaire. She has a clothing line. Her music sells very good, obviously. But she also performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, and of course everyone said it was stunning and brave because she did it while pregnant. For me, just like in football, you don't get extra credit for playing when you're hurt. If you're out there, you perform. Okay, that's the fact. But yes, okay, stunning and brave. I don't really care about any of that. What I care about is the Super Bowl is supposed to be a family-friendly affair, and certainly over the years, there's been ads that kind of ruffle the feathers of families, especially remember like the GoDaddy ads back in the day. But that's neither here nor there. The end of her performance, I even tweeted about it because it's just gross. It's just, oh, I'm going to do something that's going to get all the conservatives riled up because my performance sucked. Quite frankly, her performance was not very good. But look, she's pregnant, whatever. Okay, I don't care. But Rihanna pulled the focus at Super Bowl 2023 with her highly anticipated halftime performance. By the way, she lip synced most of it, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that too. AOC melting down too. It's great. Some viewers were distracted by one part of the show many seemed to miss. It appeared that during her first time on stage in 7 years, the Lift Me Up singer grabbed her junk and then smelled her hand. She absolutely did do this. It was very obvious. She did it, smelled it, looked at the camera and smiled. And so many people were in my mentions on Twitter being like, oh, you're clutching your pearls. What about when Michael Jackson did it? Look, I'm not, you know, it's a little different. Did he reach down and like grab a handful of it and smell it and then look at the camera? That's gross. That's just not... That's like what you would see in a prawn video, right? You don't see that on you know, primetime television, all right? We're miles away from what the Janet Jackson slip that happened. This is just vulgar and gross. Was I offended by it? Nope, wasn't watching, but doesn't mean I don't cover it because it's just gross. The people defending it, you know, there's a lot to be said about, you know, all these Hollywood people wearing this shade of red. Now, granted, red is like the color of her brand, her Fenty brand or whatever. But, you know, everyone at the Grammys really trying to embrace this like demonic coloring, blood red, all this stuff. It's not really that interesting. To me, artists and people in Hollywood have done this for years. Okay, I'm not doing the satanic panic thing again. However, what I will say is these people tell you who they are. And if their performance can't stand on its own, they do this kind of stuff to generate hate clicks. Like, oh my God, Lil Nas X, who's not really, you know, he's an irrelevant musician. The only reason anyone cared about him is because he was black and an LGBTQ member, and he did these like shock performances. Okay. The guy's music is extraordinarily forgetful. His biggest hit was someone else's song. Okay. So again, Rihanna, it's a little different. You can't exactly say her music catalog isn't popular because it is, but it's just gross. You see, so is it me, or did Rihanna just grab her junk and smell and taste it? When social media watchdog questioned, way to stay classy. Did Rihanna just scratch her junk and smell her fingers? Yes, she absolutely did. It's sick. Gross, low energy and disgusting. Why did she grab herself and smell it? Horrible for our kids. Look, I mean, hey, as a parent, you got to know this stuff's coming up. It's the Super Bowl. The commercials are going to push whatever woke far leftist politics that they want. The halftime show is always going to have something like this. Remember when Prince? His guitar looked like a dong or whatever it was. There's always something that these musicians do to generate outrage and sell their records. It's such a obvious ruse that it's like, another ad. Apparently, I'm the only person on Twitter who thinks Rihanna's halftime show is terrible. Why is she grabbing herself in a show kids are watching? Why are her backup dancers dressed like hazmat coof freaks? And what did those gross brain swab tests? Probably just me, but Rihanna's halftime show is crude and lackluster. I don't think rubbing yourself and sniffing your fingers amid a sea of pelvic thrusts, hers is art, much less entertainment. Of course, this is why she did it, right? This is why the entire purpose of these like Super Bowl, that's why you just don't watch it. You just don't watch it. It's like on The Simpsons, just don't look. Just don't look, like with all the things that were coming to life and terrorizing the town. It's just, I feel it's so funny because you have this FOMO thing, right? I even tweeted this out yesterday talking about like, hey, if you want to have a party today, you can still make a bunch of snacks. You can have a bunch of beers. You can make themed drinks and food and feast and rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Or how about rewatching Harry Potter? Or how about watching, there's a Ghostbusters. How about watching Tombstone? How about watching, binge watching, rewatching Squid Games with like, themed food. You don't have to watch the Super Bowl, okay? Like, I get it if you're a Chiefs fan or you're Eagles fan or whatever. In that case, you want to watch it. But outside of that, it's just like, it's sick. And then you have like AOC absolutely melting down. By the way, also, I'm pretty sure she was lip syncing, which is not uncommon for these performances. AOC, though, had a melty. Tears into Christian Super Bowl commercials. Squad member says that Jesus wouldn't spend millions of dollars on ads to make fascism look benign. What? Like, she is literally just an e-girl. She doesn't have really any original thoughts in her head. She's just playing to her atheist base, and all these leftists who are like smarter, they know it all, and they just know that God isn't real. And, there's nothing, in my opinion, in my experience, in interacting with atheists in my life, that's inherently annoying about them, except for the leftist ones that are like self-righteous about it. Like if you're an atheist, you're agnostic, I literally don't care. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about, the weather or airplanes or whatever you're into. But like the fact that, she's triggered by it to me is pretty hilarious. And her tweet, of course, like, see, something tells me Jesus wouldn't spend. I mean, why? What's the point of this? To get those delicious likes? And then, a lot of people say, is this you? Satan appears to be more your flavor. Senator Jesus was a great American who literally wrote the Bible. Delete this. Something tells me you have no idea what the word fascism actually means. Now do Pfizer spending millions of dollars on celebrities, media, and corrupt doctors and politicians to poison people. And this is someone else's tweet, not mine. Which ad is triggering you so I know to buy the product? I'm just absolutely getting destroyed in the comments because it's like, maybe just calm down. Look, if she's no better than people who are like, oh, Rihanna's gross, okay? But I think that like there's a line, right? This is a program that is not on at 9 o'clock at night. It's at 5 o'clock in the afternoon where I live. Families watch it with their kids, and like, yeah, I get like I the provocative stuff. I'm not like put off by that because it's like everywhere. These kids watch, Nicki Minaj music videos, which are far worse. Okay. But like it's just vulgar and gross. And the fact like we can't agree on that. Like, let me put it this way. If a straight man had done that, right? Like smelled her finger or something like that. I don't know. Would people have been okay with it? Of course not. If a man was like, doing some sort of vulgar action, and then, it's just, there's this double standard where people are so desperate to appear woke and enlightened that we can't even agree on basic things. Like some kid who's 10 or 12 years old is watching that and knows what's going on there. And they're like, what is that about? It's not like some innocuous thing. All right. It's gross. And like, obviously AOC melting down. This is why stop pretending you know anything about Jesus. This is to get Christians angry at her. And it's so pointless and dumb. Like, go do your own thing. And then, oh no, Elon Musk is sitting next to Rupert Murdoch. Maybe those are the seats they bought. That doesn't mean they came together on a date. That's why she's such a dummy. Like, there's no dumber person in politics than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she proves it every day. Hey, before you leave, we're at 77 new members today. If you haven't considered it yet, I'm going to leave a link in the description to join as a member. It's going to help me do fewer ads. It's going to help me be able to do some cool member only stuff, which I'm going to record a video today on. And I hope you'll consider joining. If not, I'm just glad you're here, and I hope that you'll subscribe, and we'll talk to you again real soon.